Behold, the Pale Horse Josey Quinn, and you're listening to the Tapped Out Podcast.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast Network. It is me, Nick, and, it's always my favorite day when I have somebody actually come into the studios and hang out with me, because most of the time it's me talking into an iPad or something to somebody from across the world. But no, man, we got the pleasure. Andrew Duckworth made the drive down.
Yeah, man. Glad to be here again.
Well, man, it's glad to have you back. It's been a while, man. Things are changing a little bit, so we're going to talk about those before we get out of here, right out of the gate. So, what's been going on, man? I mean, you look a lot better. I mean, not that you were bad, but I mean, you're turning the corner here, man.
Definitely, man. I mean, making sure I'm getting better on that diet, sticking to the diet and hitting the gym, staying in there as much as possible, and just sticking to the body transformation, good clean eating, stuff like that. Just I'm down about 50 pounds since I started my training at one fall. So thanks to Carolyn. I put her over all the time, and I tell them to get on Facebook and hit up that Be Awesome page that she runs. But yeah, man, if you're looking to get in good shape, that's the lady to go to.
Maybe that's who I got to contact. I've been trying to turn that corner, and I'm getting there. I'm making some changes, and I think that's habits, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's just habit forming, man. Sticking to it and making sure it's a daily thing.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm on the road all the time driving. Like you, I saw a bad excuse, but my job
I wouldn't say that's a bad excuse, man. I'm the same way. Like on the road, I'm like, maybe today can be cheat day, you know?
So every Saturday's cheat day?
Yeah, almost. Yeah. Yeah. I used to be Sundays, but yeah, I'm at home on Sundays a lot now. So I'm just like, well, I'll be fine. But on Saturday, I'm like, well, it should be my cheat day.
Yeah. And, but the bad thing is a cheat day can't be double quarter pounders with cheese.
Yeah, right.
You can still relatively find stuff on the road that's relatively good.
I think most wrestlers' weakness, in my opinion, would be the Waffle House or a Wawa. It's one of those two that people have to hit up.
But what's the you always hear? I can't remember who it was, but they used to go in there to the Waffle House and it was they would order like chicken breasts, like give me 8 chicken breasts.
Oh, I think I remember hearing the big guy Ryback talk about that.
That's too. That's who it was.
And go in there or a Subway and just be like, give me all the chicken you got.
Yeah, the chicken patties. I'm like, is that even a real chicken? But I do enjoy it though. I won't lie. But like I said, man, you look great, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, checking you out on Facebook. Obviously, we follow you there, and on Twitter and all that stuff. And the shots that you're putting up.
Yeah,
everybody's like, dude's looking like a true pro, man.
That's where I'm trying to get that next level. Scratching every day, you know.
Well, it's working, and it's been a few things. It's not just the look. Let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room. The change in attitude a little bit lately.
Definitely. Went through the character change. Decided I needed something to feel more at home with. The old Duckworth character seemed like it had kind of, ran its course. So after talking with a few guys, QT Marshall, my mentor trainer Ray Lloyd, known as Glacier. We got to talking around, and I decided I was going to go into a new venture. Decided to go into some more character work, and behold, the Pale Horse Josey Quinn. And pretty much it's just a more serious version of myself, drawing back to a lot of childhood memories, a lot of westerns growing up. You'll feel a little bit of religious feel here and there, because down here in Georgia, Bible Belt, old family and stuff like that always made me go to church and all that. But it's not necessarily a religious gimmick, but I do draw some influences from it.
Well, a lot of the old Westerns, if you remember, they always, how many times was there a Western where before the guy shot you, he threw out a Bible verse?
He had to pull out a verse, yeah, exactly. So it kind of goes hand in hand with the gimmick. So it's just a really natural feel. And, most people, when you talk to people about like the revelations in the Bible and stuff, it's just eerie and creepy, and it kind of really helps the demeanor of my character, considering that's where the calling card kind of came from.
Well, I've seen the character obviously now a couple times. I've seen the presentation, and I'm digging it. By the way, obviously,
thank you.
I can't tell you enough that it's to be honest with you, it's a breath of fresh air. Right now in the wrestling world, in my opinion.
Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate that, man. I've been putting in been doing a lot of my research. I'm enjoying it too, because now I got an excuse to tell the wife, like, no, let's watch a Western. No, it's mine.
It's work.
Exactly. Yeah, it's working. I'm just work.
And then like I said, I've seen a couple of, the promos. I've been in the building when you've spoken. Obviously, I did some mic work. Like I said, I'm a fan. I dig it. It goes back to a way back. It seems like you're drawing from some influences on it.
Oh, definitely.
Kind of throw out, who those are that are kind of.
obviously the number one influence with me would be Jake the Snake Roberts right now. Just the way that he delivers promos and, the way he looked into the camera, stuff like that. That's really where I'm drawing most of the inspiration from. I can't stop watching that guy. And the other one, I'd have to say is I get a lot of the stuff from Clint Eastwood, watching the way that he presented his lines and movies and stuff like that. So, but definitely Jake the Snake, number one.
Well, it's, and I see where that's coming from. And one of the things that I'll say is because it's soft spoken, it's pay attention.
Exactly.
You're not screaming, you're not, shouting, you're not saying, I'm going to kill you, that stuff. A lot of people are doing that.
It is. And, that's kind of where I noticed that, all right, everybody's going right, let's go left. Everyone else is yelling at you. I'm going to try to draw you in. I'm going to pique more interest into this character. And I think that's a really good style of doing that. I think that's exactly what Jake was able to do, was to draw you in, make you lean a little closer to the screen. That's what you always hear. It's like I said, you pay attention. You might miss something if you're talking and stuff. Whereas when, every other guy's getting on the screen screaming, doesn't matter. You can hear it. What you gonna do, brother?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, let's be honest. What it is, it is. Are you doing any, because I'm always curious, and I haven't talked to you about this. I was just going to ask you, is there any influence of like that Western feel, a blackjack mulligan, something to that effect? Are you pulling any of that at all, or? I've
went back and looked at it, and yeah, definitely a lot of that's I'm getting from him. Another favorite promo that I caught recently was actually Stan Hansen, U.S. title match with Luger. He's got the tobacco all running out of his mouth and stuff, and it's over the top the way that he's delivering that promo, and I was just like, but he leveled it. Like he started out soft spoken and he got mad about stuff. So yeah, but definitely some old school Western feel from a lot of those guys, even old JBL style too. So
yeah, that'll work. Yeah. And it's like you said, that level thing, because my argument with a lot of times when the performers, they come on and they're yelling from get go.
Yeah.
Then you can never escalate.
Well, I'm not sure what you're mad about yet. Yeah. And you're starting off on such a high tone that like, if you come down from it, I'm like, well, I guess he calmed down.
if for 6 weeks you're coming out soft-spoken and you're talking and it's very deliberate and you're telling people what you're going to do, but then when somebody makes you angry and you yell, now it means something because you've clearly been escalated to a higher level.
That's definitely something that I'm definitely working with. I would like to catch people's attention that first time that you do actually get to yell, that people are just like, oh my God, this guy's lost it.
Well, speaking of working, you said you're putting in the work.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about where you're working and do it. Where you getting your reps in and stuff.
Man, I am happy at home at the Power Factory. Been there for about a full year now, and the amount of reps that you can get in this place, from the ground up, they're going to work you to death. We've got strength and conditioning coaches, like I mentioned earlier, Carolyn, our nutritionist. And in my personal opinion, I got one of the best trainers and mentor in the business in QT Marshall. And of course with Ray Lloyd, Glacier coming in. Man, it's just the learning experience that you're getting from, QT, who's got he's got a strong grasp on the style that you see today. He understands it. He knows how to present it. And he knows how to structure a match. And, but then you have Ray right there with that old school mentality that keeps us, to that foundation where he keeps us very level. And it's really cool to see how when Ray's teaching you and then QT starts teaching, you can actually see the evolution in the way that wrestling is going. But besides that, man, just the overall facility, because it's down there at Chip Smith Performance Center.
Where's it located? But real quick plug. Let's tell them where they can find it.
It's down in Norcross, Georgia. It's right off Beaver Ruin Road. Right off the exit. Couldn't be no more than 2 miles. And the talent that walks in that door, because it's the actual center itself is used primarily for the combine training. A lot of college athletes come in there and they're getting their training and getting ready for the NFL combine. And Chip, he's trained guys such as Brian Urlacher is one of his guys. Mike Price from the NBA is one. Cam Newton's been down there. So long list of names.
So if nothing, they're going to put you in shape, right?
Definitely, yeah. And a lot of the workouts that they're able to give us, you don't see a lot of other guys doing, because they're giving us workouts that are performance based. So these, if we need to be more explosive in this style in the ring, well, they'll design a workout that's going to help us get that. So, it's a top notch facility, but probably one of the best places you could be training right now.
Well, and you brought up the head trainer there, I guess you want to call it, is QT Marshall.
Yes.
Little bit, real quick. I know I saw you guys were doing something special recently with him downtown Atlanta.
Yeah.
If you want to give him a little pat on the back.
I'll give him a pat on the back. we just had his screening down there at the Plaza Theater in Atlanta, and it's a documentary covering QT's journey into professional wrestling and where he was headed, and pretty much his run, him working his way up to WWE. It's definitely a good watch, man. But Jeffrey Show Live, go ahead and throw him out there. He was, nice enough to go ahead and cover the live before the movie started. Everybody arriving, so we had a lot of big names that were coming through the doors, man. Of course, Ray was there along with QT, but Neil Pruitt from WCW was there. You mentioned Dave earlier.
Yep.
It's still real to me, guy.
Dave Wilson.
Man. Pleasure to be around. But we had Brandy and Cody Rhodes. They come out and show their support along with Punishment Martinez, Robert Paulgrove. Been in numerous films. Great acting coach that's also based down in the Atlanta area. Well, we've actually had him come in for super camps and help us with our character development and promo style. So really, really cool name to be around or get to know.
Well, a couple of names you just put there. We're going to go. First of all, speaking of the school, the training facility, you've got coming up soon the American Dream Scholarship.
Yeah.
Tell a little bit about that real quick.
That's definitely what I've got my eyes set on right now. The American Dream Scholarship is going to be coming up in August, and the trainers that are going to be coming in, it's going to be a multiple-day camp, 2-day camp. You're going to have Kevin Kelly. He'll be there along with Dr. Tom Pritchett and Les Thatcher. So I really don't think you could have more of a super team coming in and teaching for 2 days.
Well, we did discuss that a little bit earlier, but that's true. Tom Pritchard has, he's trained some of the absolute best names.
Has he not, right?
So I always tell anybody, if you can see a seminar with his name on it, go see it. Pay the money. It'll be the best money you probably ever spend.
Yeah, one of the first things that Ray ever told me was pick up the Tom Pritchard book. Learn it, read it. That was one of the very first things I did, one of the best things I've done. And we've even used a lot of his stuff in our training down there.
Yeah.
But as far as the scholarship goes, we'll, come in, we'll be, those coaches are probably going to run us to death. But then the next day on the actual show, we'll actually have 2 men and 2 female compete for the scholarship. And those will be selected by the coaches. But whoever gets the privilege of winning it, they get some bragging rights, a plaque, a monetary reward, and the whole thing will be presented by Cody and Brandy Rhodes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, and now I'm going to sidebar real quick because there is some stuff going on that, we kind of, I don't know if you were going to go on. Speaking of Cody, obviously, over at Ring of Honor, you've been around. You've kind of starting to see you pop up in some places, real quick.
Yeah.
So tell me what you can about those things, those appearances.
Definitely. Well, a lot of the opportunities that I got at Ring of Honor came from, past camps, working with Jay Lethal, Christopher Daniels, Punishment Martinez has been in. So definitely some big names from Ring of Honor. And due to that relationship with QT Marshall and Ray, that's opened the doors for us to give me the opportunity to appear for Future of Honor. I was able to be on Future of Honor against Baron Black. Really big opportunity for me, getting to work with Cheeseburger up there. And I also got the opportunity to appear on an episode of Ring of Honor Television as Cody Rhodes' butler.
I did see that.
Yeah, I gladly accepted the job. And it was a fun little experience, and I can't wait to get back down there.
Well, those are opportunities that when they knock, you have to. Because I tell that to a lot of the young guys, man, just take whatever.
Yeah, seize it. You never know what they're looking for at that time, and you may do one small thing. They're just like, we need more of that. You never know.
You're going to get spotted, right?
Definitely.
There's so many eyes at those places. Can you mention the other place? Or
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I had the privilege of appearing for NXT on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Fun little story for that one. Is on Valentine's Day, I actually got to sit down. I don't know if you've ever heard the story of, when I started pursuing professional wrestling was from my son. Mm-hmm. He actually asked me why I wasn't a wrestler after taking him to an indie show. And I couldn't answer him. And I was like, I don't know why I'm not a wrestler. So right then I was like, well, I guess I'll get started. So, that was about 3 years ago. And then fast forward to this past Valentine's Day, I was able to sit on the couch with him and watch my first NXT appearance with him. So, he's crazy flipping out. I'm on like hero status dad for the day. So, but same thing, opportunities just happen to open up thanks to One Falls super camps and stuff like that. And got that first NXT appearance under my belt now.
And you actually, because that's a big one. That was, it wasn't just and no knock. I mean, trust me, the Butler appearance, friend of the show, O'Shea Edwards, we both give, we're gonna
props to O'Shea.
Yeah,
hard work pays off, man.
Yeah,
and that's
security guard this past week.
Yeah,
he got to drag, Ciampa out of the. So
kind of weird seeing O'Shea having to drag someone of such a smaller stature than him. I'm used to seeing him throw people around.
That's what I figured. I was like, why did he not just chunk him over his shoulder and carry him out of the building?
There's a reason Ciampa's there.
Exactly. That was the big one. I don't know if you saw the joke about why did he not get, spine busted?
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, because I wanted to check. But anyway, back to, like you said, but it was cool to see you on there. We, caught that episode, obviously. Yeah. Just went out of our way because good people, good things. We always like to see it happen. So
yeah, man, I was really grateful to get the opportunity, and both the guys, TM61, top notch guys. Very, very easy to work with and stuff like that. But man, do they hit hard. It's the big leagues for a reason, right?
You
ain't kidding.
Yeah,
yeah. And when they hit you, they're going to hit you.
Well, speaking of hitting hard, I saw coming up soon that you've got some guy, some guy that's going to be swinging a lot of stuff at you, and that's the old Monster, right?
Yeah, the Monster Abyss. Yeah, Impact Wrestling star, man. He'll be he's coming up to One Fall Wrestling, and I'm really looking forward to facing off for the first time with the Monster Abyss. From what I hear, he's bringing Janice with him too, so man, I'm doing anything I can to get ready for him.
It's going to be a weapons match of some kind.
That's what I heard. I heard that it could be an all weapons legal match. So, at least hopefully I'll bring something to even out the odds if that's the case.
Well, real quick, when and where? When can they catch that one? If you're
that'll be in it'll be Chaos in Cleveland too, in Tennessee. So this is the second time we've been there. Also, if you come up, you also get the opportunity to see the meet and greet with Crimson as well. He'll be a part of it. So, no word on why Crimson's there yet, but definitely tune in to find out, man.
And what else you got going on, man? I mean, it's a couple other things to go over, I know, but I want to get more in depth in your minute. But before we get too far into the show, where can people find you?
Well, yeah, that'll be March 30th is the Abyss, but then on the 31st, Georgia Premier will have Abyss too down in Kenton, Georgia, and I'll be a part of that show, along with I'll finally make my return to NCW on April 6th. Pretty excited about that. But again, man, I got Caleb Conley, Impact Wrestling star, coming up with Georgia Premier Wrestling on April 14th. And that's another one I'm really excited for, man. So
Caleb I have seen in person a few times, obviously. And I think, the first time I saw him it was an AWE show. And I was like, really? But then he started working, and I was like, never mind. I stand corrected. The guy can go.
He can, man. And I've got the privilege of getting ready for him. And trust me, I've been watching his stuff, and he's definitely one of the best in-ring technicians today. No question.
But you're going to get the best of him, right? That's the plan.
By any means necessary.
Yeah, exactly. Anything else to plug before? Because I want to get back into the Pale Horse. I want to ask you a few questions about that before we get too far. But
yeah, definitely. As far as one thing that I always try to put out there for guys is the seminars that are coming up at One Fall. I can't recommend them enough. We just had X-Pac in who did a great seminar for us. But we've got Abyss while he's down on the 30th, on the 31st, he'll be doing the seminar that morning. But we also got Billy Gunn coming in on May 11th. He'll be coming in and doing a seminar and a show with us as well. So
tons of knowledge.
Yeah, I highly recommend people come out and seek out that knowledge, man. These guys are, they're truly trying to help the wrestling business as a whole. And, get better. You always can get better. And
I always stress too, we always have this conversation with a lot of the guys. Don't get locked into just one. Go everywhere. Learn from everywhere.
Definitely. Like me, you were talking earlier about Al Snow, someone I'm definitely looking forward to working with. I'll be doing a show with Golden Corner Wrestling. It's going to be out of South Carolina. I think they're going to be doing the show in Seneca. I'm not sure the exact date, but it's as soon as I get that info, you'll see me sharing the flyer around, I'm sure.
Okay.
But yeah, they're rumored to have Al Snow up there for a seminar, so I'm really excited for that one as well. And the more I can work with different guys, the better I'm going to get. So I'm going to keep hitting them.
Let me ask you, because we were talking about this, the character, that we were talking about, the Pale Horse here. Again, huge fan, love it. It's great change of pace, ground and pound, old school. Would you call it? Was that what you would call it, right?
Absolutely, yeah, an old school brawler style. Same thing. I like to use that term, by any means necessary, or traditional style wrestling. Yeah, if it's ground and pound, if that needs to be a part of it, that will be a part of it. And
should be. Like I said, totally digging where it's going. is this something that were you at a point with, like I said, I know earlier you said with the Drew Duckworth character, you kind of had gone as far as it was going to go on and evolve. Let's be honest with you, evolution in this, in wrestling is completely necessary.
Yes.
One of the best is Chris Jericho, right? He talks about it.
Yeah.
Is that kind of in your mentality, like I said, why you got there?
Yeah, it really was. And, last year when they had the Georgia Wrestling History Awards and everything, and I had the privilege of taking home the Rookie of the Year, one of the questions I was asked was like, what can we look forward to in your sophomore year? And, I couldn't say nothing then, but this is exactly what I was looking forward to. I was like, Duckworth's not really going to have a sophomore year. We're going to go ahead and cut him off, and then you're going to end up having Josey Quinn, a character that I feel can definitely evolve with the times and can only get better from here. So, yeah, that was definitely one of my mentalities coming in was I need something that I can grow with that's going to and actually age well. So that's when I developed this character.
It makes sense. I mean, and it's also, let's be honest with you, we kind of beforehand were discussing characters, and that's what wrestling is. And people can talk about the in-ring work is obviously, it's important.
Definitely.
But they have to know you, care about you. And care, when we say care, it's love or hate.
Exactly. Either way, yeah. Either cheer me or boo me. Either way, And when we were talking about character work, like it really, nowadays it seems like an afterthought to a lot of guys of putting extra thought into that character. I think that more people got that attitude, that 90s attitude era feel to it where they're like, oh, it's got to be real. You can be real, but you still can turn yourself up to 11 and really make yourself a character. And that's why I'll recommend stuff like going to an acting seminar or an acting class, help you to deliver your lines a little differently. Maybe, just to spice your character up a little bit. It seems a lot of guys just want to hit hard, and that's kind of their gimmick now. Right. I mean, let's be blunt. Like you were just saying, if it's a guy, if there's a guy that I don't pay to watch guys like me on TV wrestle. Gotcha.
I want to see something that's a little bit larger than life.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. Yeah, I like the huge, inflated, over the top characters. That's why I'm a big fan of Bray Wyatt. Same thing with Brock Lesnar. Like, even though he's him, he's a much bigger version of himself now. I mean, since he broke the streak, we all look at him different.
Oh, at 100%. Yeah. But I think that's, a lot of and that's probably, a lot of people say what I'm about to say, that I'm being, disrespectful is not the word, but, that I'm making light of it. But on a lot of indie shows, the characters are all the same.
They are.
The matches are all the same.
I agree. And that's another reason when I decided to go with this character, I was like, all right, this is going to give me that opportunity to step out and really shine in a new light, not have to necessarily share it. And I'm definitely trying to find something that only I can do. That way, I can start to build a product, so to speak, something that people can look at a card and be like, he's on that card, then I've got to go see this show. There's nothing else like it.
Well, it's when they leave. My goal, and this is, I'll go ahead and tell you, I think we talked about this a little bit. I did sit through an Al Snow seminar, and one of the things he said was, what you want them to do when they leave is you be the one that they remember.
Exactly.
You be the one that when they see your name on the card again, they're like, I got to go back and see this guy.
Yep. Ray gave me the quote from Les, actually, that it said, the champion is not necessarily the man wearing the title. It's the man that they're talking about on the way home. And one of the things that Ray really grinds home all the time, he'll say it, 1,000 times a training, be memorable. That is exactly your goal in this business, is to be memorable. Whatever that may be for, whatever you remembered for, it doesn't really matter. Just be memorable. Yeah.
And Al says, even in a loss, you can still be the one they go home talking about.
Exactly.
There's a guy, Shawn Michaels. He kind of, he's kind of famous for that, right?
Yeah, he's really good at making having a fantastic match, and everyone still go home and be like, wow, that Shawn Michaels guy, dude, such a fighter, and think
amazing. About this. Most of the greatest matches he ever had, he didn't win.
The losing end, exactly.
So, but like I said, and I think that's the great thing about the Pale Horse character is that I'll go ahead and tell you, we saw you at the NCW show.
Yeah.
And that exact thing. When you go home, that's the one thing that we remembered.
Awesome.
Because
glad to hear it,
so
man.
Different. And I think that's the key. Is different is good, and I think more guys need to take that leap and try something just really different.
When I actually, thinking about the character style and everything like that, one of the first things that I really focused on was I was like, I don't want this character to care about his win and loss record. That was a legitimate thought that I put into the character. That once I'm in that character's mindset, I don't care if I'm going to win or lose. The purpose that I'm here to do is to leave this guy laying by any means necessary. If he gets the win, so be it. It means nothing to me. He's still going to end up, the Pale Horse is going to get you. You know, that's the way it works. It's not necessarily, I'm not chasing gold. I'm not really chasing anybody. The way I put it is once your name's whispered, that's it, man.
It's kind of creepy when you think about it. that, like you said, the whole, the Bible, the tie-in, the religions and all that kind of stuff. And that's, again, you can see that's your Jake, coming out a little bit. And obviously, like I said, you can see the Bray, a little bit of it. Before they lost, no offense to Bray, but I think they lost their way with it. And I think that you can fix that. I guess you can be the better example.
I would love for that to definitely be talked about me, and that'd be something that people would refer to me as. Because I really enjoyed Bray's stuff when he first came out. But I agree with you that maybe he's strayed from the original path. I think it's maybe the lack of not having a cult following anymore. He seemed a lot more dangerous when he could convince people to do what he wanted them to do. So I think he's lost that edge.
Well, now you brought that up. Is that something down the road that we may see with the Pale Horse?
I have actually given it some thought, man, but we'll just see how that plays out on down the road.
That would be a good twist. I mean, there's got to be some younger guys, that could, see the light. Maybe it's the best way,
Yeah, I've given it some thought, man. It's definitely an idea I've kicked around, and if the Pale Horse feels that it's necessary, it may happen.
Stables are a good thing. I've always been a fan of stables in some form or fashion.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I really liked, when NXT was really kicking, with Authors of Pain are basically a stable on their own at this point. I mean, But you had Sanity, and then you bring in Undisputed Era. It's getting really exciting again. And it reminds me of back when you had, at one time when you had the LWO, which even though they wasn't that great, but then you had, the Four Horsemen were around at the same time that the NWO was coming around again. So I'm a big fan of watching those kind of matchups, too. I think it was Elimination Chamber when we seen the Shield versus the Wyatts.
Yeah.
And I think just the fact you see these two powerhouse factions coming together, it's going to be something special.
Well, and at their heyday, because we're really going to sidebar because that's what we do, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that when Vince really, most people like to say Attitude Era, but when when the gears kicked everything off, it was, DX, it was Nation, it was, all these
Heart
Foundation.
Yeah.
So it was factions and things spun out of it. And there's always somebody usually that comes out of it that's, shoots to the moon.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And then you always have those odd pairings, too, where, you tag this guy with this guy and just, there's just so much you can do with it. I would like to see more of that.
Yeah, I agree. So set the example. There's be that guy. So anyway, like I said, love this new character. Again, before we get out of here, where can people find you? Obviously we want to plug the school again, let them know, get down to the, the One Fall Power Factory. I mean, do you have just follow them on Facebook?
Yeah, definitely. There's One Fall Power Factory. You can follow that on Facebook, Twitter, and it's at 1FW. So just type that in and it'll pull right up. They got that same thing on Instagram, but you can also follow the One Fall Wrestling brand as well on those same platforms, as well as you can type in the Pale Horse Josey Quinn, or just at Pale Horse Quinn. That's Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. And I'm constantly posting on all three platforms, as you know.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But besides that, you'll catch me, like I said earlier, on March 30th and 31st. You'll be able to catch me at One Fall Wrestling in Tennessee on the 30th, and then in Georgia Premiere the very next day in Canton, Georgia. I return to NCW April 6th, and then April 14th, man, it's Caleb Conley's time at Georgia Premiere Wrestling again in Canton, Georgia.
Well, hey, I know you've got some other important stuff coming up, too, where it's not just shows. There's something really important and close to your heart that you wanted to talk about.
Yes, man. After, going through a little bit of my Facebook feed, I found my friend Shalina was talking about this lupus walk in Atlanta. It's going to be on April 21st, and I decided to participate in it and join her team. So in doing that, I decided, you know what? I'm going to release a T-shirt. So we've put out the I Walk with Josey Quinn T-shirt. All proceeds, which are net profit proceeds, will be going to the lupus donation for Atlanta.
Okay, and where did they do? Is that all on your Facebook page? They can find that.
All that'll be on my Facebook page. It's shared daily, so you can easily just get on the Quinn page or my Instagram, Twitter at Pale Horse Quinn, and you should be able to find that information really easy.
Cool. Like I said, I didn't want to forget that because we were plugging everything. I just didn't want to make sure we forgot that because I know that's really close. And here, I don't know if you're familiar, we're really into charitable stuff. I mean, we got a big one coming up. It's April 6th to the 8th. I'm horrible with dates, just like today. But it's the Man Olympics, so which I'll tell you about that a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. So, I want to hear about that.
Yeah. So again, one more time, make sure they go to your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, anything. And where's all that donated? I just want to make sure one more time. Where's everything going to?
Everything's going to be going to the Lupus Foundation of America. It'll be the Georgia chapter. And yeah, you could be able to get on, like you said, my any of my social media platforms are at Pale Horse Quinn. And we're selling the shirts, $20, and all net proceeds going straight to the foundation.
And you get a cool shirt out of it, right?
You get an awesome shirt out of it.
There you go. Anything else as far as that you want to plug or the? Yeah,
man. While you're out there, I've got some. As you can see now, this nice little hat and shirt I've got on. Square Circle Apparel, man. Definitely head over, give these guys a like on their Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, and if you like it as much as I do, head over to their shop, man, and type in discount code BEHOLD.
Behold.
Go ahead and get you 10% off of your order, man.
There you go. But man, it's always a pleasure to have you in here. The sad part is, I guess most people will break the fourth wall here, right?
Yeah.
We talk usually for 3 hours and then we record for like 30, 45 minutes, right?
It really happens, yeah.
And we're big fans. I mean, you come down and, we come to the shows just to see you for the live.
I'm a big fan of the show, man. I try to keep up with as much. Like earlier, I didn't even know that the Terry Lawler episode was out. And I downloaded it right here talking to you. I was like, oh man, Terry Lawler, I got to check him out,
Yeah, he's a good.
We got some history.
Yeah, exactly. You guys had a match there once, right?
Yeah.
So,
he stole something from me. Hopefully he knows better than to come back. Let's put it that way.
He's not coming back. He's done. And I mean that with all due respect. I mean, hopefully
you get to go out on top, man. How many guys get to do it? Not many.
Yeah, I agree.
Deserved in his, for Terry, man.
Yeah,
for real.
Take a listen to that. We appreciate that. That'll be good.
Absolutely.
So he's a great guy. That's all we can say. Well, we're not going to put him over any more than that.
No, okay, yeah, he's gone.
So definitely, you can also, like I said, the Pale Horse Josey Quinn, you gotta spend your money. You gotta see this. It's a sight to behold.
Absolutely, yeah. Listen to the man. He knows what he's talking about.
Been to a few shows and see what I like, and that's what we'll keep going. And then obviously we're going to see you again. Hopefully it won't be the last time you're with us, man.
Oh, I'm sure it won't be. I'm pretty sure I'll be around pretty soon, man.
Awesome. Well, we'll look forward to that. Maybe I got a couple special shows in mind for you.
Definitely.
That we can touch something on. And but anyway, we appreciate it. Glad to have you back into the studios again because it's one of the few. You're one of the few that come to the studio and do it, so we always enjoy it.
I enjoy being live, man. And nice little feng shui here, man. It's nice and comfortable here.
It's we try to make it comfortable for everybody. But like I said, before we get out of here, anything else? Any words for anybody? Anything that you got to say?
Pretty much come out to the shows and behold the Pale Horse Josey Quinn.